Good afternoon. Regular session, Mayor and City Council meeting, 6 p.m., Wednesday, April the 7th, 2021, City Hall Complex Chamber. I call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Madam Clerk.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Number 3, financial monthly report. Mr. Thompson.
As our mayor, we have Ms. Pat Walker on the screen here for that.
Could you just introduce me, Robert?
I'm sorry.
Yes, Pat.
With that, as I always talk at the beginning of every financial report, you do it year evenly at 8.33% per month, with 66.64% of the fiscal year, all being equal on revenue and expenditure. However, that sounds on the case, but it is the benchmark that we look at whether or not we have a problem on the revenue side or the expense side. So with that being said, on the revenue side, we're about right on target, 1.6% less than what was budgeted. And I really feel that that might just be a matter of, so February revenues got posted in March, and I'm not concerned about that low percentage, especially since you're way under the budget on expenditures. You're only at 59% of the budget of expenditures, which is about 7.6% below the target of 66.64%. So the only time that you would need to be concerned is if your revenues were much lower and your expenditures were on target. Then we might have a problem. The city doesn't have a problem. The general fund revenue total is about $14 million, which, as I mentioned, about $454,000 under year-to-date revenues at this point. But then again, the expenditures are way under budget too. The major categories I'd like to talk a little bit about is I'm hearing an echo. I'm hearing everybody muted. The local sales tax is really performing exceptionally well. And if you look at Schedule A that I attached, or Attachment A, we are actually at 67% tax revenue overall. So I'm not concerned about the local sales tax collections in the first months of this year. On state tier taxes, again, we're a little bit lower than budget by about $39,000. And again, we'll watch that closely, but not concerned. And again, because of the general fund expenditures, but not. The other thing that we're going to be looking at next year, on top of meeting our budget projections, which again, I just want to mention that I'm very glad the Mayor and Council went into this budget conservatively because we've met the targets that we set on what we're going to spend, and that's really good news. We even have better news about the American Relief Funds that will be coming in next fiscal year. The city of Nogales is programmed to receive $2,307,958 in fiscal year 22, and then to receive the same amount, $2,307,958 in fiscal year 23, for a total of $4,796,878. And again, I just would like to remind council that this one-time money is not ongoing. We can't count on it year after year, but by having this much money to be able to spend on things that you need to spend it on for one-time items is very good news. The only departments that went over 66.64% was the fire department, and again, that was at 74.23, but the majority of that is because we need to do a budget transfer for the carry forward funds that for the fire engine that we ordered, and I think we will be within pretty close to budget. The cemetery, again, as we mentioned about every financial report, is as a result of additional staffing, and this time Nogales Rides, as we're providing citizen transportation to vaccination centers, and this may receive or will receive a reimbursement from the county moving forward. So that number will come down too. water fund, this one's a little bit below the budget, it's at 57%. And we did count on that coming in a little bit less, than what we've seen in the past. But again, the expenditure budget is only at 41%, so the water fund's in good shape too. Same with the sanitation, revenues are at 64% of budget, and expenditures are at 44%. So again, you're really close to your target on the revenue side, and you're below on your expenditure side. So this is a really good position for Nogales to be in, moving forward into the budget process, and you're not looking at a lot less revenues, but you're looking at more with the American Relief Fund, and look forward to those discussions on what the council policies are moving forward and spending up those funds. And with that, I'll have to answer any questions you have.
Any questions? Yes, go ahead, Councilman.
Councilman Bohol, on this unentitlement funds, is this the same thing as a stimulus?
Mayor and council member, yes, it was a stimulus package that we passed, and there are only two restrictions on these funds. One being that you cannot lower taxes by receiving these funds, and the second thing is that you cannot use it to pay off your PSTRS debt. So those are the only two conditions that we have in the state of Arizona on spending these funds at this point in time. They are looking at it and see if there's any other stipulations, but so far the league's not put out any other stipulations, and I haven't seen anything yet, but I will keep council informed.
And my other question is, do we have any, I know that we've been saving a lot on expenditures, but do we have any obligated funds that we need to spend before the end of the budget year that's not put us in a hole?
There are encumbrances where POs are taken out, we take that into consideration, but I don't see anything that's out there, unless there's some things or projects that come up between now and the end of the year, but we have a contingency reserve also. So I don't see anything that is gonna put you over budget at this point in time on spending trends each department is doing and on the obligations that we have.
Thank you. Nothing else? Pat? Thank you very much, Pat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat.
Pat, you gonna stick around? You gonna stick around for?
Yes, sir, she will.
Okay, Mr. Massey, I was asked by the acting city manager if we could move from the appointment position, skip all the other ones so this Pat needs like this to do something.
That's at
But-
your discretion, Mayor.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that we have number 4, executive session. Is there anything we need to discuss on that before we move on to 8? Or can we discuss it on 8?
Mayor, I just put that on the agenda in case members of council would like to go into an executive session to discuss this matter. It is not something that I have anything prepared, and nor do I say that you have to go into executive session. It's just there in case you need to use it.
Okay, perfect, thank you. So we're gonna move to orders and number 8, and we're gonna do number 1, which is consideration and possible action of order 2021-04-018, an order of the council of the city of Nogales, Arizona, approving the appointment of a finance director.
Second.
Thank you very much. Discussion. Yes, go ahead.
You know, Pat, I think you've had some meetings or discussion with this Ms. Jean. Can you tell us how you feel on your point, on your accounting terms with her?
I'm you. Mayor, members of the council, I feel really good about Jean. She has a degree, her college degree in management and accounting. She has had multiple positions in different venues. She doesn't have direct municipal accounting experience, but she has accounting experience. And I feel that with the direction and the mentoring that I can give her, that will be something she'll conquer right away. She's been a teacher, she's been an insurance agency, everything that she's ever tackled in life, she's accomplished. We did due diligence in talking to her references, and really dissecting about how she learns. And the one thing I'd like to say is that you can't force someone to be eager to learn, or to be detail-oriented, or to have a personality that can really manage a department, and Jean has all those things. And I think that the technical part of municipal finance, she can tackle and learn with my assistance along the way, and I think she'll be a really good hire.
Okay, yeah, I really like, her background and her, that she was a school teacher and stuff like that. And, to me, I see learn in her mentality. It's something that I see in, of what I read of her. Haven't met her, but I see progress in her that, I think, I heard that she came down and visited the staff, and everybody was very warm and welcome the way she got together with staff. So, thank you.
Go ahead, Councilman.
Mr. Mayor, yeah, well, after I read the letters, and she went through the interviews with the 10 other applicants, and my opinion is, she was interviewed by Ms. Walker and Bernie Wigent, is that his?
Yeah.
And, they've been working with the city for the longest time, and their recommendation is enough for me, because I know that they probably asked all the right questions. And the other thing is, I don't know if she lives here in Nogales or Rio Rico, but she's already a local resident, and I'm all for it.
Thank you very much. I feel the same way. I spoke with the acting city manager, and one of the things I asked how Pat felt about her, and he said that she felt very comfortable, and I believe she lives in Nogales, and also the part about Councilman like you, the education background that she has of teaching, which is that has a lot to do also working in finance, to have patience with the rest of the employees in that department. and so with Pat's help, I'm sure she'll turn out to be a good finance director, and well-groomed. I believe it'll work out really good, and I feel the same way in reference to her being the person for the job. So,
Just want to make one question.
yes.
If, because what is her residence? Is it Nogales or is it Rio Rico? If it's Rio Rico, are we going to enforce her to move to Nogales?
No, you can't.
Come on.
No,
Mayor,
go ahead.
Mayor, if I
Go
may.
ahead.
So Councilman Maldonado, she lives 3 blocks away from City Hall. She can walk
Okay.
to work every day if she chooses.
Okay.
Yeah, she
I
lives. I
just
believe
wanted
she
to be
lives.
flexible.
Yeah, I believe she lives on Kino. Kino.
Okay.
But that's not a requirement for director.
No, not for directors. No, for the city managers.
manager.
But directors is fine. But besides that, does anybody else have any?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Mrs. Walker, this is Lisa. I wanted to ask you, here on the staff summary, it does say that the total cost of the project is $67,000, which is that what she's starting at?
Yes.
Okay.
That's-
And then it says, okay, thank you. And it says to increase to $75,000 once certifications are obtained. What type of certifications does that entail?
That entails going through the different classes of GFOA offers on
The
municipal
GFOAs?
accounting.
Okay.
And she's also, that was one of the things I asked her, is how dedicated would you be to get up to speed on municipal accounting along with my know what we pay to what kind, I take weekends, I'll take classes, I love the word, I love numbers, and I will do whatever it takes. And there is not a degree in college in municipal accounting. There is certification programs offered through the Government Finance Officers Association, and I've asked her to participate in those. There's even one coming up towards the end of April. So that's what we're trying to do.
Is that going to be paid by the city?
The membership is paid by the city.
Yeah,
and
but
there's
the
but
classes?
the lower amount is paid for by the city. Yes, it is. But it's a discount because you're a member of GFOA. I don't have what each class is, but they're not astronomical at all.
Thank you.
Yes, anybody else? Anything? No? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Did everybody vote? Okay.
Thank you,
Maybe
Ms.
maybe next time I'm gonna have to do a roll call.
Thank you, Pat.
I didn't hear all the voices.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
So,
Yes, we're gonna do roll call vote. I didn't hear everybody say a vote. Start with whoever you want, Letty, and I'll be the last one.
Yes.
Ms. Montiel,
Yay.
Mr. Diaz,
Aye.
Mr. Bonillas,
Aye.
Ms. Lopez. Yes. Mr. Bohoctes,
Aye.
Mr. Maldonado,
Aye.
Mayor Gani.
Aye.
There's a unanimous vote.
We have to make sure that everybody's vocal about the vote, please. Let's do that. Or otherwise, from now on, every vote will be a roll call vote, because that's the only way I can make sure. Because every time people vote, and for the past few meetings, I've turned around to Letty, and Letty goes, let me see, she doesn't hear everybody. Everybody has to be,
Mr. Mayor?
please, let's do that. Yes.
Get a little minute. So I just want to thank everybody involved in the process. It was long overdue. It was lengthy. But, props to Pat, Bernie, John, Carmen, Mr. Massey. They were in it from day one. So thank you, guys. We met a goal. We got one small hurdle to go through, which is our job offer. And after that, I think we've actually,
Man, I want
Had
to
a slam
thank
dunk
you.
on this one.
I want to thank you all that participated on great job on this. And the way you approached everything that has to do with the salary and everything, I think that's great. Giving a person an opportunity to excel a little bit more with some classes like Pat said. So thank you very much. All right, so now we'll go to number 5, discussion items. Number 1, discussion, direction, and possible action on opening up City Hall. And somebody forgot to add an L to that. And L, what's those L?
It's behind your mayor.
Yeah, it's behind your desk, I saw that. I know, I saw that earlier in the office, but I figured I was going to use it as a joke for. I know. Mayor's number 1. There you go. Thank you, Letty. All right, so Mr. Thompson.
Mayor, members of the council, again, we're here to discuss if we should open City Hall. We know there's been some changes through executive orders from the governor's office to which he's allowed for establishments to open fully, but also allowed for those establishments to include entities such as ourselves to also create restrictions or modifications to the full-blown opening. With that, staff, everybody has talked about it, and we think we should open. However, we still want to maintain and follow a lot of the CDC guidelines to include the social distancing, perhaps actually still require our staff to continue with their face coverings, hand sanitizers, all that, and also require face coverings from any patron coming into City Hall. With that, the usual stuff, checking in at the lobby, getting the temperature change, or check. If council saw earlier today, throughout the afternoon here, we have already set up something in place so we can open up shop as early as 8 a.m. tomorrow, and we're inclined to do that with council's approval.
Thank you very much, and I think it is time for us to open up. But I do want to say one thing, that I think you and staff need to get together and figure out how we're going to proceed with the council meetings.
Correct.
Okay, one thing I want to just let you know is that this council chamber is equipped to take about, what, 60 people, 30, how much is it, 70? 70 people. It's not going to happen.
Correct.
Okay, it's not going to happen. So we're going to have to be social distancing. And the way I think it would be the best way to do it is that we stay as we are here. Maybe the other chairs would be for the directors, because from now on, probably we're not going to have them on the TV. They're going to have to do their presentations on the podium. Let's try to get back to life as normal as possible that we can. But we will allow people to be out in the lobby to come and present whatever they want to present on call to the public. And then they will be asked to come in and to speak on the podium and call to the public, so that we can offer that opportunity to residents, because I know there's quite a few residents that do have something they want to say to the community, especially on certain items that we put on the agenda. So let's offer that opportunity for the residents of Nogales. And then we'll also have to find a way how to social distance people out in the lobby that cannot fit in here. For now, we won't sit all of us on the dais, because we'll be, a foot apart. Right now, as we are, we're at least social distancing. And let's continue doing that. Maybe we'll arrange the tables for the council a little different so they can social distance, but leave a couple of chairs in the back that can be used by the public. You might have to remove all those chairs and put them in the hallway or somewhere, I don't know, for now, Mr. Thompson, so that we can have a little bit more room here.
Yes, sir. Duly noted.
I think it's time we do that. Yes, go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah, Mayor, I totally agree with your perspective. The other thing, Mr. Thompson, I think, even in if we open the city hall, I think we should still have limitations. So many, they do it at the banks and all that. Only so many people can be inside. Try to, go with the flow, open it up, but continue to support and have the social distance.
Yeah.
Even like Mayor said, if we're going to have call to a public, there's going to be outside people. Unfortunately, because of the same situation, if somebody wants to come talk for a certain group, they're not going to be able to bring their whole group. Only one or two people per person or whatever for item, because we got it limited, but I think we should open it up.
Is that basically what you're going to be doing at the library also?
Absolutely. So our director, Danitza, will formulate a plan. Same structure, same suggestions everybody's bringing up today. We want to implement that across the board in any and all buildings or facilities that the city has.
Yeah.
It also includes the lobby at Public Works.
Public Works, okay.
Anything like that. So we will do our best to do so. In fact, this was our trial run. It seems like it will work. And I will say this, that next week we will have our first meeting, or not our first meeting, but a meeting on our housing commissioners board. So that might be the trial run to see how the setup in here works. Typically, those don't have a lot of public input. However, we'll gauge it with that.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, and one thing, Mayor, that I just want to point out, that what we're doing, these requirements are for our facilities only, not anything outside the city's control. I just want to make sure that the public listening understands that this is for our facilities, not your local grocer, nothing like that. It's for our facilities only.
I've already gotten calls from different businesses in Nogales in reference to the letter that we sent out. What was it, last week we sent it out?
Yes, sir.
And the letter basically specifies that, of what the governor said about opening up, the state. And what we did is that we continue to say that it is not required but recommended to use a face mask. Okay? And then it says social distancing, washing hands and everything. Because, there's certain places that you will not be able to social distance. And if you can social distance, well, you might not have to use a mask, but if you can't, I mean, I recommend you use it. I'm going to use it myself. If Mr. Massey gets really close up to me, I will put this on right now. But he's 6 feet away from me, and Mr. Maldonado is like 10 feet away from me. So, and Mr. Bonilla, well, he's way out there. But this is the way I think we should do it. And Mr. Thompson, I think your plan is okay. I think it'll work out, sir.
Thank you.
Good. All right. On this, is there anything else anybody wants to say? Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Thompson, when is the target date for this to open up?
I'm sorry?
The target date tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m.
Okay.
Some department directors may have a reason to extend it a little, let's just say signage, what have you. And we will deal those individually, but we hope to open up shop as early as tomorrow morning.
Okay, so people should know that the expectation is to open up, but each department will have different timings.
That may be a possibility, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect. Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it.
Roll call.
No. Yeah, I could hear everybody now. Did you hear everybody, Letty? Good. See, if you hear everybody, I can hear them. Okay. No roll call in contract. All right. Number 2, discussion, direction, and possible action on cattle lease agreement. Okay, well, Mr. Thompson, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mayor, members of the council, as you know, last council meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, we formalized the team that, 3 individuals who are very well versed in the cattle business. The team was led by our very own council member Maldonado. They discussed the 2 proposals that were submitted. Upon their evaluation, their consideration, they offered a very good opinion, and we are willing to run with that. At this point, we believe that we should extend the leasing agreement to Mr. Larriva as is right now. The decision is based not on a financial reason or anything other than their expertise on how to use the land properly within the guidelines we submitted, and obviously the recommendation of the team.
And I want to thank you very much, Mr. Maldonado, for being part of the team.
Yep.
And I think it's a good decision that you guys did, so.
And I'll tell everybody, we went through hard work looking at grazing, looking at water, looking at everything, the pros and cons, and I think the team spent a good time looking at everything and looking at the pros and cons, and I think we made the right decision for the city.
Good.
Okay?
Good. Okay, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Number 3, discussion, direction, and possible action on welcome to Nogales signs. Mr. Thompson, you
Mayor,
have good news and you have bad news.
So this is a 50-50 at this point, but we'll figure it out. Kind of like the discussion I had with Councilman Bonilla earlier today.
Look, when you talk about this one, look at the vice mayor, okay? Don't look at me. Look at the vice mayor.
I'm afraid to look that way. So, Mayor, members of the council, we had discussed earlier about some welcoming signs into the city of Nogales. A lot of municipalities, counties, what have you, townships have this type of signage. So we reached out to ADOT, submitted our proposals. I believe everyone present today has received a copy. And those are just quick things we put up and submitted to ADOT. Upon further discussion with ADOT, their signage people, it was determined that this type of sign is considered an advertisement, perhaps a little bit too distracting. It is a very nice built, colorful sign that really identifies Nogales, So with that, ADOT came back and said, we apologize, we cannot have this type of signage in or around our areas, highways basically. So at this point, we decided that perhaps partnering with ADOT is not the best way to go, and this is where the bad news comes first. We may discuss upon council's agreement or direction to reach agreements with property owners in these areas, basically city limit areas, who may be willing to enter into an agreement with the city where we can erect these type of signs. We were waiting for pretty much an estimate on what one of these signs would cost. The company that typically runs these signs for ADOT couldn't come back to us quick enough on the sign itself, on the estimate, so I owe you an estimation on what one of those would cost. However, we had already talked about these monuments, and there's an additional packet that was submitted earlier today about the actual concrete and, built monuments that is another alternative option if council deems to go that direction. So at this point, the bad news is we probably won't be able to partner with ADOT to get these signs on ADOT right-of-ways unless we go back to the drawing board and see what their concern is and maybe redesign these signs and bring them back for approval. Might not be something as well built as what we have right now. It might be something a little bit more scaled back, bland, for lack of a better term. But here's where we're at with that. We could A, go that route, or B, reach out to these property owners in and around town and see if we can actually enter an agreement with them and get these up. So that's the direction I asked from council.
Basically, the signs, they're pretty, especially this one. This one is the one that they're saying that it's advertisement. Well, that's what we want to do.
Yes.
We want to advertise the city of Nogales, and we're welcoming people. And everywhere you go, and the strange thing about it is you look at this, and you look at the ones ADOT has that says, welcome to the Grand Canyon State. And there's two of them on I-19, very big signs. They're advertising.
The Grand Canyon, not us.
They're advertising, and they say, welcome to Arizona, Grand Canyon State, and this and that. And they also have another one that indicates the 100 years of the state. So and they have a nice background and a nice image to it. And I think this one is beautiful, and this would be nice to have entering Nogales. This is not the monument one that we want to erect down the road, but if we can't even get this one with 2 metal poles put up, I don't even know what we're going to confront with ADOT or with who when it comes to a monument, which is a much, what can I say, much permanent structure than 2 steel poles that can be removed. So I guess you have your work, on this one, and I don't know how far up the food chain we have to go in ADOT to see if we can get some type of help on this, and or unless you can get, like the vice mayor was saying, that you can get some good locations with property owners, and I've been looking for these locations. It's kind of hard to find because there's so many obstructions, a lot of stuff in the way that, I don't know if we can put something like that. We might not be able to put it in the entrance going into the city, but we can put it somewhere else where even tourists get off the road, get off I-19 and see it in one of our streets. I don't know, but I hope we can find something to do it soon, because I think we need to do this. I got really excited when I saw this, and now disappointed when you gave me the news from ADOT. I thought they were going to jump in.
Little property of relief there that we currently own is that little wedge on 82 Patagonia Highway and Morley Avenue. Nice, well-maintained park. As we maintain it as a park, that's city property. That's certainly not at city limits, but it's as close as we can get on highway to welcome anybody coming into town, at least from the Patagonia Highway, from the east side. So that's something we can explore as well.
Yeah.
Question, how many signs are you thinking?
We were thinking of 3, one somewhere on Interstate 19 by kilometer 1-ish, the Blind Center area, the other one on Patagonia Highway, and then the third one on Grand Avenue right around Meadow Hills.
Say, what about the Terrace Avenue? We have that little round thing. You said that was possible for us to use it or not?
So That one, I think we need to just discuss it a little bit more with the federal government. I know they have somehow given that property to us, but I don't want to say that without getting the right information. Because when that was initially built, they developed all that and claimed it as their own up to a certain point. Now it seems that they have somehow given it to the city, although we don't know or have not received anything. Mr. Massey, I don't think we have.
No, that's, Ms. Mayor.
So, go ahead.
Since I've been here, that's not been an issue, so I don't know where our, rights end and theirs start. I think from the maps that I've seen, that roundabout is on federal property, but we maintain it. So I'm not sure what rights that gives us, though.
Because I think that would be a nice point, because there's a lot of people walking into Nogales, so one sign there, and they're so nice.
And that's a very good point, Vice Mayor. It is an entryway into Nogales.
Please.
It is.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
what about for the visitors coming in from Mexico? Do they have any signage?
So, yeah, so that would be the same concept because Grand Avenue is part of a ADOT right-of-way.
Yeah.
We even explored putting something near Karam's Park and kind of peeping out, but I think the
Mariposa.
buildings, I'm sorry?
And Mariposa too.
Mariposa, that's also an ADOT right-of-way. So we're kind of locked in with ADOT. We're married in with ADOT for a lot of reasons, primarily with the
And the
roadway.
thing about it, that the four main roads in Nogales are not right away. Arroyo Boulevard, Grand Avenue, Mariposa, and Patagonia Highway. And we're not about to give them those roads so that we can make it our streets. So,
No,
turn back roads, no.
is there, go ahead, continue.
No, so would it be
Ladies.
possible for you to find out if we could use that one right there at the
Yes, we can. But like Mr. Massey said, where does our property start? Where does their start? And what authority would we have to erect something there? I'm sure we can do this on a handshake, but I think we'd probably want something a little bit more because it's going to be something that's going to be there for, not permanently, but at least for an extended amount of time. But that's something we can negotiate. We can certainly reach out to I don't even know if it's GSA property or not, so.
GSA?
Yeah, that old Treasury building is GSA.
GSA.
Yes,
Like,
go ahead.
let's say going up I-19, turn around right there where Burger King going up, where we have the water tower. Do we have any land there, or where the water tower is?
On the other side of the fence belongs to us.
That's a good spot to try to do something. Let's
All
find.
we have to do is jump the fence.
Fence, right?
Hey, this-
Or even decorate the water tank if that's, something we can do.
Because the place I was thinking, that little parking lot that's next to Burger King, a little sliver of land that they park cars there, that's private property. And maybe we could ask to clean that area up a little bit and put it on that private property right there.
So are we talking about this sign?
This one, not the monument. The monument is permanent. These can be removed. I think we should do these first before we start the monument, so we can start putting something out there. The monument, those we're gonna really have to plan and then find the location, because once that goes up, it goes up.
Yeah, so,
And Dino property, because I'm pretty sure Dino would have no problem having one of these, huh?
That'd be something we can certainly reach out to Mr. Panasopoulos and see what his thoughts are. He's usually very reasonable on
I
requests
think the
like
vice mayor should talk to him.
Definitely.
Well, why not?
Should we create a team?
but, I think, as a council, we should look into areas and bring them back next meeting and everybody bring in thoughts, areas where we could put something, a billboard, a sign, or, a monument, or, if it's the tower's a little bit high, but, something that we could be usable, if we get on I-9 right? No, I think it's right before. Well, the property, right after where they're gonna make the on-ramp off the new bridge, whose property is it on the right? Is it the county's?
I'm not too sure.
They have the walkway back there.
Which one, Councilman?
Where you're gonna get on the new ramp onto I-19. Of the new 180.
Where they have the Tapia Trail?
They have the trail back
Yeah.
there, but who's down the hill? You look at just coming up, and unfortunately, they're on their way out, going down,
Yeah.
leaving Nogales.
They're on the run.
But I think
Bye.
let's try to
That's why.
let's try to
Come
look
back.
at areas during the next month and come back next month and everybody bring thoughts and work it together where we get better ideas of what we could do and all that. If ADOT doesn't want to work with us, then unfortunately we'll look to our residents, neighbors, landowners, and areas where we could put something together.
I know.
But I think 7 plus the staff will be better than 1.
And then I know.
But I honestly believe that well, before we go any further, did everybody like this?
Yes.
Did everybody like it? Yeah? Like it? ¿Sí o no?
A mí no me gusta el correcamino,
¿Por qué no?
porque van a correr de aquí.
Sí, pero
We'll get the bird activists working against us.
no, that's the same one we have on the bumper sticker. So we've had it for about 10 years now. Okay, so why don't we find the cost and stuff? Have them made. Have the 3 signs make them, and then when from here to next month we'll try to locate, and then we'll see if we get anything from residents or somewhere near. A sign this size, nicely made, this colorful, you can see it from far away. So it doesn't have to be, there's places along I-19 that we could put it that's not property that belongs to ADOT. Okay, we can put it in places and it'll be visible.
What's the size of that?
This is almost the size of the ones the state has.
What's the
It's a
size?
6 by 8,
6 by 8?
más o menos. Yeah, 6 by 8. We can make it 6 by 8, and if you want them, I think the ones ADOT has are 8 by 8 because they're square. This will be just shy of a rectangular. So it'll be 6 by 8, and then by next council meeting, what we can do is we can plan or discuss in regards to the monuments. The monuments, there's only 2 places you need to put them. One on 82 on Patagonia Highway and one on Grand Avenue coming into the city. I-19, I don't think we can. Rio Rico has some. Have you seen them over
That's
by the
one.
landfill? But it's their property. They put it up in the hill, So, but we don't have a hill like that. Unless the property owner would say, you're allowed. Remember where Paul Bunn used to have their
Where?
horse on top of the hill, ahí on Frank Reed? I was thinking that would be a great place to put a monument if we get permission from. I think it belongs to the Paul Bonds, whoever it is. I'm not sure. But it was.
How high does our property go? Where you're going up past the bridge towards the left in Meadow Hills, where we have the golf course on the right. We got the hill on top.
That belongs to Mike Karen.
Okay. Our property.
The one on
line's the
Frontage
bottom.
Road. The one on Harrison,
Oh.
going towards Harrison, going towards the school,
Yeah.
the hill.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think belongs to Mike.
The golf.
The lagunas and the golf courses in the bottom.
Uh-huh.
That belongs to
Our
Mike.
property line doesn't go up.
Yeah, because you have to go on the other side of the frontage road, because ADOT owns that and the frontage road.
So we're talking
Yeah,
about.
let's look for areas.
No problem.
Look for that. Pero bueno,
Thank you.
yes,
A quick observation. Welcome to Nogales, Arizona, your monk friends. you know, you're among friends is pretty good, but could we add like maybe Gateway to Mexico, historical, traditional, cultural? You know, that's something that like a point of sale.
No,
type of
because if
thing.
you add Gateway to Mexico, you're offering him to go to Mexico, not to Nogales, Arizona.
Well, you know,
No, seriously, you have to say welcome to Nogales, Arizona. I already looked at that. You know, when you go to Sierra Vista, it says welcome to Sierra Vista, not Naco.
okay.
You're welcome to Bisbee, not Naco. Welcome to Douglas, not Agua Prieta.
Okay, well, how about adding a little bit like historical, cultural
That's more advertisement.
for us?
No,
Because
for
you're not putting down
ADOT.
to Mexico.
ADOT doesn't even like you're among friends.
They don't like.
They don't even. They say this is advertising.
Historic. Welcome to historical. Nogales is historical.
But you know the historic district and stuff. We can identify that in our own streets. I don't think this is a welcome sign to the city.
Right.
And I'm a little worried about putting this one on the cul-de-sac, the que dices tú en la glorieta. Because if you put it this way, it's going to look like Nogales, Sonora is asking you, welcome to Nogales, Sonora, because you're about to leave and going to Mexico, ¿verdad, Lisa? See, yeah, I thought about that, because if you put it like this on Terrace Avenue, oh, hey, welcome to Nogales. Nobody's going to see this. AZ. They're thinking that you're at the Nogales, Sonora put it up as welcome to Nogales, Sonora. No, this is welcome to Nogales, Arizona. And that's why it's so important to put it, be nice to put it on the highway and the freeway.
Pasar con los pelos parados.
Maybe in the future we could put one with those tears off.
No, yeah, but that would be a different thing. That'd be, you know, we could use it for the pedestrian walkway. You know, we can identify places like you're saying, Councilman, the historic area. We can identify those areas. You know, like the signs they have for the Danza Trail?
Yeah.
That you see them from the border all the way to the Lagunas and all the way to Tubac.
Right.
Those are identifying that historic area, that site, the Lagunas and all that. As a matter of fact, I had met with Edgardo today and Melissa, and they were asking me if we could get any signage for them for Calle Sonora, putting the Monte Carlo trails and bicycle, you know, one there and then one at the entrance, because nobody knows about them, only the kids that ride the bicycle. So I think it's a good idea to identify locations, but this is a welcome sign. This is, and hopefully down the road, maybe, down the road we can identify with a billboard, like Councilman said, a bigger sign, which is be temporary, because, you don't have them, it costs so much to have them there forever, but identifying this with historic sites, with, the gateway, that, Gateway to Mexico was a good thing, back when there were clubs and bullfights and everything in Nogales, Sonora, because everybody, but there's nothing like that in Nogales, Sonora, unless you're going to get some plastic surgery, your teeth or glass, you can't even, so we have to identify Nogales, Arizona.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, for
I know, I understand.
economic
Councilman.
development, and you want to try to bring people in, to develop our economy.
But we want to bring them into Nogales, Arizona. It's hard to keep somebody here besides eating a sandwich and gassing up the car and going north. We have to say, you're among friends. Come to Nogales, Arizona.
Right.
And then once they're here, then we can identify the historic area and hopefully, the downtown area and Morley Avenue, if it ever, picks up again with, but that has a lot to do with the property owners down there, not the city itself, but, eventually we're going to have to work together on that.
Right.
But we do have a lot of historic areas, We could put a historic sign going up Crawford. We put a historic sign going up Court Street. We can put historic signs in a lot of places. Even one here in Villa Coronado, because of Camp Little and because of Mingas. We can put those are identifying signs and locations for once you're in Nogales.
Yeah, the word Nogales right there on Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah, downtown.
Bueno, pero
Yeah.
let's think about it. But as of now, Do you like it? Raise a show of hands. Is it okay? No? Because otherwise we're going to have to fire Robert because he's the one that did this. Mr. Massey is going, no, don't do that. No. So,
He's got 2 months.
no, he's got 2 months left. Why do it? So, are you okay?
Are we going to vote on this or are we going to wait till?
No, just to order. These are going to be placed somewhere.
Okay.
You know, the problem is that if we wait to order them after, it'll take us a while. We'll be doing this forever. I think with this we can identify maybe private property right now. I think that's where you're going. Your best bet's going to be
Property.
Robert, private property, and then we'll. The vice mayor is going to be the one calling some of the people
You
that.
want me to call you?
Mrs. Thompson,
Please, por favor.
Mrs. Thompson,
So if
are we
Es la que
okay with,
conoce al
are we
Dino.
okay with using the bird in our,
Depends on the bird.
I don't want to get,
Using the bird.
see.
What's wrong with the bird?
Ahora te salen para todos. You get complaints because you can't use an Indian. You can use,
Come
a lot of
on,
things. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
but
we have to ask the bird permission.
who do we ask permission?
We should be fine.
We should be fine.
Yeah, it's a bird. I mean, who's going to get mad? The Desert Museum?
Maybe.
This is a very nice. What do you see here that belongs in Nogales? De veras.
The seal?
Come on. No, in nature, what? When you drive to Tucson and you're in the county, what do you see? Don't you see these little puppies all along the highway, and they're beginning to pop up here? That is the interest of Nogales. That's identified. The road runner just stopped for a while to look around, and then they took a picture. He salió road runner ahí.
It's good for all the bird watchers that come to Nogales.
Yeah, we can put this in front of the lagunas for the bird watchers.
On top of the water tanks, you painted there the water.
Oh, that'd be nice to paint it on the water tank.
That's my suggestion, the water tank.
That's a good one.
Say, I have a question. If Dino says okay, what do we need from him? Just the okay or?
So
then you
we'd,
send him
we'd,
a-
we'd probably get into some contract agreement that Mr. Massey will probably be more than willing to type up and get going.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And that pretty much be it. I don't know if there would be any timeframes on it, but that's something definitely with some clauses and stuff that Mr. Panasopoulos and the city would agree on.
And that's why I think these would be better sometimes a place like that, Vice Mayor, because it's just two steel poles. It's not a permanent structure, So, but,
He's got one there, huh?
yeah, for properties,
Advertising the-
properties.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Another quick question. As Letty was saying on the water tank, could this be done maybe twice the size and put a wrap around the water tank where you could see it from far away?
Yeah, it could also be painted up there.
Whatever's cheaper, or
One thing about paint is it wears out a little.
but
But
doing
yeah,
like the wrap and just wrapping
yeah, they make them now like that. That'd be nice.
a 12 by 16 maybe, and
Yeah.
I think as you're coming, down the freeway, I'm pretty sure you could see it.
Yeah.
You can get somebody to look at it maybe and find a good place for it right on the tank.
Yeah.
It's just an idea, just a suggestion. And get a cost on that too, and maybe
We have a whole bunch of artists doing some paintings for the 40s. You want me to ask Sandra Corey about an estimate?
No, because that'd be, we'd have to really sit down and talk about this one. That'd be a responsibility.
Now, the other thing, do we just leave it, make it,
Bigger.
welcome to Nogales from Arizona, boom,
On the tank?
on the tank, on the sign?
The only problem is that the only place you can see the tank, only place, is heading north on I-19. You can't see it coming
Can't see it
south.
coming south?
No lo ves.
¿No lo ves?
No.
Are you sure?
Se ve bien chapito. But if you go from Burger King and you look up like that on the canyon, you can see it perfect, the tank there.
'Cause
But
what
then
I-
you're leaving Nogales.
Because what I've seen, all the welcoming signs just say, welcome to Patagonia, welcome to service, welcome, no other.
Yeah, but those are monuments. Those are
They're
monuments.
completely
But those are on the highway, right off the highway, you know?
Yeah, I know, the ones in Patagonia, I think they're right off the
They're
highway.
right off
and they
the
allow
highway,
them.
and the Sonoita también.
It must be on private land
I don't know, but I think it's on this side of the
No,
fence.
it's on the other side.
I think it's on this side of the fence, because I see the barbed wire fence,
That's like cut out,
a metal.
metal, and it's cut out.
But you know what? I think that one almost blends to the land. And I think that's not distracting, because they told Mr. Thompson that this was distracting.
But is it distracting because we put something else besides just welcome to Nogales?
Don't tell me we put a bird and it's distracting you now. Councilman,
You have a problem with the bird, huh?
don't give anybody ideas, Councilman.
It's just a road runner.
Okay, all right, dude, let's stop with this, I think.
Yeah.
But let's, I think, to me, I think we should start putting it together. Before you do that, before you find the prices, find everything, find who can do them for us and everything, and then I recommend you send an email or something on the mayor, the council, let them know what the cost is, and then we'll just a yes or no, not, to see if we continue with it or not. We'll bring it back to the next council meeting. But I would, I don't want to, I want to do these, or do something.
Right.
The sooner the better. Por favor.
Sure.
All right? On this one, we don't even have to vote because, the Roadrunners got me.
Yes.
Jeez. A ver, que les quiten los Apaches a Nogales, a ver qué vas a hacer. A ver qué vas a hacer cuando vengan y digan, we don't want the Apaches.
It's going to be close. They already did it. They did it to Washington.
No, please, don't bring that to Nogales.
Even
but I mean,
Indians had to take out their Indians.
I know. Mr. Massey will take care of it, ¿verdad, Mr. Massey?
Work on it, Mayor.
Hijo, esto es lo que falta. Que vengan y nos...
You just advertised the Laguna a couple days ago or last week. So talk to them. See what they say.
In La Laguna, there's Roadrunners in La Laguna.
You know?
They're in
Are they going to
Villahermosa.
have any problem with you putting it on?
No. What if we put a javelina? Would somebody get mad if we put a javelina? Councilman, ¿tú qué crees? Estás muy calladito. What?
Lo de la birria te van a dar las gracias.
Walnut tree.
Somebody's going to get mad because it's a walnut tree and it wasn't a
A
pecan.
lot of people don't know that a walnut tree in Spanish is a nogales.
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll figure it out. All right, let's go to number 4. Discussion and direction on Independence Day festivities. Okay, I put this one on here because, that's also, again, trying to get us back to normal. But I don't think we need to take this to a very long conversation because Mr. Massey is very expensive and he already had his time and Mr. Maldonado had his time too. So I think on this one, this is my recommendation. I think we do fireworks only for this year's 4th of July. So that people can see the fireworks and maybe if we add, a little bit more money to have more fireworks, a little bit longer time, unless that from here till the end of May, we see a dramatic change with the COVID situation, and which I doubt it. And we have all the vaccinations because you have to remember, we're using that location for vaccinations. And Mr. Thompson, do you think we'll still be vaccinating people by then?
I think we will, Mayor. Yeah, I think we will.
Okay.
We're at.
So we want to make sure that we complete that and we feel comfortable with everybody being vaccinated and we reaching the peak of 80% or more of people vaccinated in the county. But that's my recommendation. But for now, I do recommend that we do have the fireworks so that we can celebrate Independence Day with the fireworks.
Mr. Mayor, so if we only have fireworks, are the people going to be asked to just stay in their cars and park there by Fletcher?
Well, what it is I'm sure we can allow them to go into the field, not the baseball fields, but the fields next to the park. But I'm sure that we can't. We shouldn't have any music or food vendors or anything, because that will be a whole different ballgame, because it'll disrupt, if we're still going through the vaccination process, we'll disrupt that. But at least they can take their lounge chairs, sit there and watch it, and they don't have to show up like at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon like we usually do. They can show up, at 6, 7 in the evening, because the fireworks usually start at 8 o'clock? 8:30? So, and then a lot of people go up to Walmart, Home Depot, to the parking lots up there. They can see them from there. So it'll be a different one, but I think we should have the fireworks and at least celebrate Independence Day. What do you think, Councilman? Tienes una palabra, Simón?
And I was thinking, if we open it up, there's going to be a lot of people gathered.
Yeah.
I think we gotta
That's why I'm saying
just
fireworks.
but just fireworks. But if we open up the field,
you mean?
we're gonna have a lot of crowd. They'll be taking their ice chests, they'll taking their lawn chairs. Even if we don't have vendors and stuff like that, I think we're better off. If you want to go, limit it to stay in your vehicles or something like that. Work it as to close the street or whatever, and have PD on both sides and in and out, and that's it. Because if we did open up the park, we're gonna have a crowd. We're gonna have people taking ice chests and
They'll do that on top of Walmart. They'll do that on top of Home Depot and all the streets up there, because they do it now.
But we're not gonna have control how many people we're gonna put into Tashea Park.
Yeah.
They'll fill it.
Yeah. Well, we could do that. We could then eliminate the
chair park?
No, not the Tashea Park.
on Turley. We can do that. We can close the field and just let people, wherever they can park to see the fireworks, they can do that. That's it's a high area where the fireworks are, We saw them one year from your house, remember, up in Vista del Cielo.
Right.
So you can see them from far away.
And the event's only 1 hour, right? So,
45 minutes.
so people are not going to be taking their ice chest and all that just for 45 minutes.
No.
Well, they might take a couple.
Because if we opened it up, Mayor, we're gonna, forced to have PD. We're gonna have forced to have Parks and Rec personnel and all that, and we're gonna put our own employees at risk.
Yeah.
That,
So Thompson, how do you feel about that? You feel we should not open it? You comfortable with it?
I think I'm good either way, Mayor, members of the council. I kind of like the idea, but at the same time, you're hesitant to go that route to just open up the field for all that. I like the comment Councilman Maldonado said that, we will have to provide staff and everything. But it's totally dependent on what council feels. Maybe there's some community input. I'm sure clips of this meeting will be out on social media soon, and maybe we can gauge the input from the community. One thing I do want to say, just to piggyback off of Councilman Bojorquez's comment earlier on the cost and the length of the show. As we recall, last year we put a deposit, 50% down on the light show. So our typical 25 to 30-minute pyrotechnic show runs about $13,000. We have already paid 50% of that, and that's being carried over this year. So that frees up an additional $13,000 that was allotted for this event if we opted to do so. So here we are. Do we want to do just our 25, 30-minute show, or do we want to add those extra 15 minutes for about a 40, 45-minute show? We already made an investment, a third of the way. We have the money for this year. That's just something else we can do. I'm not too sure if that length of a show is too much. That's a concern also that we.
Yeah, if it's a good, the way I look at it, if it's a good steady one, You know, a lot of fireworks shot up, you know, at the same time and not one at a time like that. You know, 35 minutes, 30 minutes is good. You know, nice show. We could do that, you know, invest more fireworks,
So,
even though it's a shorter amount of time.
right. So,
And then we could
yeah,
have a
so
lot of them.
We could
Yes, but
definitely
we could do
pack the
that.
show.
You know, also, you know, we could spread the news, say, you know, lawn chairs and everything, no ices and stuff like that, you know, open it up. If we're gonna say 8:30 fireworks, open it up at 7 or 7:30 and give them an hour to be there or whatever, and not 4 or 5 hours, you know, and control it with the lights. You know,
Because you could also just put in the paper saying, you know what, the field will be open, but it's open at 7 o'clock.
and limitations, you know, no ICSs and stuff like that.
Go ahead.
How much money we spent already?
So we currently have $6,500
Half of the money
invested
for the
into it.
fireworks.
So half of the money,
So it all is gonna be 13,000?
13,000. Yes,
So that's it?
that's it.
I
For
don't think we should put more money into it. I'm sorry, because people is complaining, and you know, they're complaining for everything. And it's just fireworks, $13,000, I think is more than enough, that's my opinion.
That's what we pay every year, 13,000 for fireworks. Last year, we got stuck with it. We had sent the money in advance, because that's what you have to do. And they kept half of the money. So, let's do that. Let's work on 13,000. And then talk to staff, to PD, with Marcel, talk to everybody, see what they feel, and then come up with something you can bring to us next council meeting, on the May council meeting, saying, okay, we'll open it up, we'll advertise for a couple of months, saying it's going to be open at 7 o'clock, or like Councilman Maldonado said, just with lawn chairs to relax in the grass to watch the fireworks.
Or viewing.
Yeah. And so nothing, no tents, no nothing, just lounge chairs and you know, for whoever person wants to see it from there. Yes, go ahead,
I
Councilman.
don't understand the reasoning behind saying, well, we're going to open from 7 to, for a few hours and watch fireworks, and we're going to have people in lounge chairs. Where I have a problem is, so no one's going to get, the reason we're not opening completely for that event is because we're afraid of getting people contaminated, right? So what's the reason?
Not the reason, not only that, they're still using it for vaccinations,
Yes,
the whole area.
but they Robert, have they been using to park their cars there, and they haven't used it at all?
no, so
They
the
told me that part failed, and they're not using it.
right. So the drive-through service that we were inclined to do with the county, that was a failed attempt. It seems that we're more confident just walking out, getting our vaccine, and going home.
But they're still driving out through
But
there.
we're still driving out through there. There is some restrictions in parking in that parking lot during COVID clinic operations. There is a road now that leads you back into the actual rec center or impromptu clinic, and that same road connects you up to where the launch site would be. So that's a concern we need to address as well. That's just a concern. The field itself, I think it's very much sustainable for this type of an event, lawn chairs, people sitting down, blankets, what have you. Could we put a limit on people? Absolutely. But then we're talking about who is going to go out there
Yes.
counting, who's going to go out there. Are we still going to enforce all the alcohol ordinances, which we should? Just thinking as a cop, we should do all that. So logistically speaking, there's a lot of things we need to do to open that. As what we're talking, is it a great idea? I think it is, right? We're trying to bring life back to our community. We've been behind closed doors for a year already, and I think the 4th of July is a very good reason to open up some doors and have people get a little bit of freedom. I mean, that's what it's for. So, yeah, I mean, short of talking to PD, Fire, and Parks and Recs, facilities as well, we would come back to council and make a recommendation as to what we can do. We do have a budget set for this event, as we do every year, and that budget would consume it, even at this small scale.
Is the clinic going to be open on the 4th of July? I mean, are they going to be vaccinated on a holiday?
It's on a Sunday.
That's on a Sunday. No, but that's not the point. You still can't drive in the field. We're not allowing any vehicles in the field anymore.
No, exactly. But where I was going to is, it's on a Sunday. I mean, you're still going to have people there. I'm not saying that with vehicles. I mean, you're going to have them out on launch. I'm in agreement with, let's not have any vendors. But why not have a semi normal 4th of July? You know, instead of we start at what, at 2:00 every year?
Well, vendors show up at 2.
Yeah.
It starts at 4.
Yeah,
4 or
4.
6.
And then we have the first band. I mean, why can't we just have one band? You know, no vendors. I mean, the money's still there for the 4th of July, right?
Yeah, it's still there.
I mean, I think we should revisit this because I'm not saying open it like all day like we usually do. That, yeah, it's true. Vendors show up there at 2, and we start around 4:30, and then we have the first band, and then I think at 7:00, though, if I remember, we start doing all the for the Pledge of Allegiance, and everyone, you know, we can sort of condense that event. But I think that we should have something other than, you know, more than just the fireworks. Fireworks last 28 minutes, Mayor, and after 28 minutes, you get fatigue of watching so much fireworks. If we add 1 year, we added, I think, 10 more minutes of fireworks, and it didn't seem like it made any difference at all. So, I mean,
But what are you going to do after the fireworks? Continue with the band till
Have an
11
event.
o'clock? And you don't think people are going to take beer with them? Ice chests?
lots of police departments there.
They will.
They will.
They will.
I don't think you,
And you think people can last 5-6 hours without any food?
No.
But they, you know, again, this can be more of a, let's call it a picnic day for families. And I know there's going to be people that go try to sneak in beer. They always try anyways on a regular 4th of July.
So the thing is that I remember the fireworks was the only thing that we had in the city of Nogales forever until 2000.
Really?
And 2000 is when we had the first one. We had
Yeah,
vendors
well, I
and
started
music.
working that year.
Before that, fireworks were all at Memorial Park, and that's all it were, fireworks. And you parked around Memorial Park, and from your house, and you saw it. And it was like 15, 20 minutes of fireworks. Esto, ¿te acuerdas, caso me costábamos chiquitos que íbamos para allá? Le digo porque we graduated together. But I estamos chiquitos. But that's what it is. A Mountain, that's all it is fireworks. People park in the streets on the bottom of A Mountain. They synchronize it to the radio station, and they listen to the music and see the fire. See, the fireworks is 4th of July. Not the music, not the drinking, nothing like that. I think we can go back to that next year, but I think this year we still have to, you know, like I said, let's go till May, and if we see May being different, you know, this weekend we had how many cases? 32?
Yes.
Okay, we had still 32 cases. You know, we still have hospitalizations. We still have a bunch of people that haven't been vaccinated. And you're talking 2 months down the road before we start even, you know, you have to get a ban right now. You have to start talking about that. So I think we need to get the staff involved.
It's follow the lead from I think from Nogales Unified School District. They still haven't decided if they're going to have graduation. I mean, it looks like they might, but it's not official yet. So why don't we see how that turns out?
Well, when is graduation? June?
May 21st.
May 21st. That'll give us an idea. But let's keep it in mind. That's one reason I wanted to put it on now, is to have this dialogue. And I know you like 4th of July. That's your gig, man. You've been doing it for many years. And I knew if I didn't put it on here, you would want to put it on next week. But that's why I wanted to discuss it. And, and it's good to have this dialogue, because like we all want to open up. I think fireworks, it's a great opening up statement for our country.
Yes.
To have fireworks and saying, Independence Day, let's get back to as normal as possible, which I don't know if we'll ever do. Yes.
So Mayor, members of the council, you actually threw out a very good idea, Mayor, on broadcasting our music as the show is ongoing. So maybe talking to one of the local radio stations and broadcasting some patriotic music during that 25-minute block.
I already made the music already, so.
Yeah.
So-
Saulo's got the music
So
already.
Donate it.
it'd be just an issue of putting it out there.
Donate it.
Donate it, huh? He's a good man. Okay, we'll do that. Let's start by talking to staff, and then we'll bring it back next council meeting.
Yes, sir.
And I think we have but I think it was a good conversation. Good time.
Mayor, I heard U of A was having graduation, but still they're talking about having graduations with limitations.
Yeah.
If they're going to have it, they're going to have it with limitations. I think four per graduate, and that's it.
And imagine we're one of the few states that's open.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona, Texas, and Florida. There's a bunch of states that are not open yet. Their limitations are a lot stricter. I don't know how they're approaching it, but Okay, so let's continue. Number 6, reports. An update on the Children's Museum. What do you have, Mr.?
Mayor, members of the council, Mr. Kissinger and I had the opportunity to speak to Nico Panasopoulos yesterday, I believe, or the day before, and received a very welcoming update on the Children's Museum. They were forced to put a pause, just like a lot of entities, organizations, businesses around town or within town. But he assured us that so far they have, and I might be misstating this, and I'm sure John will jump in, I think they have up to, if not close to, $250,000 invested in exhibits, displays, and potential upgrades to the establishment. They do have a full running board, as is. Some of the members have changed. But yesterday, I think it was yesterday, it was very pleasing to hear that they're still running with the idea, they're still committed to it. So more to come on that, but I really wasn't expecting that language to come out, but I'm very pleased as to that. So they talked about a $70,000 or $7,000 display just on water tables, so something you would probably enjoy. So they're moving forward. It's just they were waiting for things to open up, and this agenda item or this discussion item is in line with everything that's happening around us right now.
Any dates or anything? They figure they might open one day, or?
No, they still have some upkeeps to do and stuff like that. So we can certainly reach back to them and see what their potential timeframes would be on all this. One of their biggest concerns was we couldn't move forward because school shut down. We wouldn't have the kids coming over. Everybody was pretty much quarantined indoors, and they just stopped because they didn't know what the outcome, what the future was going to hold. But now we're I hate using the term rounding the corner. I think we're just approaching the corner. So they really are wanting to move forward on all this and get it done.
Do they need any help from the city of Nogales to do whatever they need to for opening, or do they need any assistance from us?
I can certainly reach back to them and offer our help in any way that we can possibly do so. And I'm sure we'll have another discussion item in the very near future as to what they would ask from the city. But yeah, again, really, really pleased at their report.
Yeah, because it'd be good. We can partner with them so that they can get it going. That's another thing that'd be very nice to open in the city of Nogales.
Definitely.
That's great. Go ahead.
Mr. Thompson, who is responsible for the upkeep and the maintenance of that area?
Building-wise?
For the museum, the whole thing?
So, Mr. Massey, if I'm not mistaken, it is the
Yeah,
leasing?
leased it, Mayor, so
Yes.
that means that they have possession of those buildings. So it is their obligation to. And then there was some very specifically identified upgrades to the buildings, which if they make those upgrades, then the lease, which right now is for 5 years, would be extended for another 20 years after that. So if they put their investment in place, they'll have that facility for 25 years.
Well, the reason I asked is I was there like 6 months ago, and there's a lot of weeds, and the building has been vandalized, so they broke the windows, and, you know, the weeds are coming back in a couple of weeks now, and
Correct.
it'll get worse.
So we will reach out to the board, or at least in this case, Mr. Panasopoulos, who was our point of contact, and see what we can do to offer to help, you know, get him into that direction, and whatever we can partner with him as well. It'd be really, you know, cool for us to do so, because, you know, it's time we get Nogales back on the map.
Good. Okay, thank you very much. On the next one, update on the dog park. This is Councilman Bojorquez put this on the agenda.
Mayor, members on the council. So the update is Marcel sent us a proposal, and I apologize for Marcel not being online. He had a medical appointment he had to attend to. He's doing fine. He's been texting me, so he's probably watching. Long story short is we're looking at creating 2 of the runs. They're both 100 feet by 100 feet wide, so it's 100 square inches, no, 1,000 foot, 5 foot tall fencing, gates and everything for your smaller to medium-sized dogs up to your bigger dogs on the other area. I understand that we internally would be blading areas to level that surface so we can install those pens or those runs. With that, I know, just bouncing a couple ideas with the mayor, he brought up that we're looking, April's pretty cool because we're looking at environmental days, specifically Earth Day on the 21st, I believe, of April. So I know there's been some talk from the mayor's office to plant some more trees around that area. One thing that's really, really cool, a member of our community, Miss Melissa Molina, who's a student at the high school, Nogales High School, part of her education or part of her program, she's involved in the International Baccalaureate. She had to do a type of donation or project type as part of the requirement. She was able to raise funds, and she will be donating one of our doggy waste basket refuse pickup things. So we have our first to install when we get that going. So, you know, props to Ms. Molina. She went out on her own and got this donated to us through Marcel's office. So, you know, she's very well vested in this project. I think we're all pretty much vested in this project and want to see this into fruition. So, Mayor, is it safe to say that come Arbor Day or we should be able to get something?
We should have something graded,
graded.
And ready for possible fencing. And I've already talked to some business people in Nogales for trees. So we want to get some trees, and that what we want to do is, I was talking to Mr. Thompson, use the program Clean City, Healthy City, the initiative that we've had since back in 2010, to be able to get volunteers from the city itself, you know, students and adults and members of the city council.
We should start that again.
To plant the trees. Yeah, and what we do when we plant trees with Clean City, Healthy City, Public Works will dig the hole with a backhoe, and then we just take the trees and plant them, and then fill them up with topsoil and stuff, and then just water them so that they can catch roots. And then that area I don't think we'll ever have any problems because there's so much water underneath there. There's the lagunas that those trees will catch, and that'd be a nice area. It'll beautify the area. It'll be a nice parking area for vehicles. It'll be safe. It'll be off the road, so you don't have to worry about anybody, you know, any traffic congestion. It'll be well planned, and it'll blend with the whole area, I think. And then, you know, it'll be another another job for recreation because they would be mowing the grass in the area for the
Maintaining.
dogs and stuff like that. And so it'll work out, I think, Councilman.
There was a letter sent, I don't know if everybody got that letter from some concerns from residents at Meadow Hills, and I think there was like 22 residents there. They were concerned about the traffic, but I don't see any problem with the traffic there because, at the most, I think that park would be having like maybe 10 to 15 people at one time at the most. So I don't see any problem with the traffic. Is there any way that we can send those residents some kind of letter explaining to them what kind of park it is? That we've already analyzed the traffic situation.
So, Mayor, members on council, absolutely, we can engage those concerned residents. I'm assuming they're residents of the Middle Hills area, and rightfully so. We're creating something in their front yard. So I would say, yes, we can absolutely reach out to them, send them a nice letter saying, hey, these are our thoughts, these are our plans. We are going to move forward with that plan, with that thought. It's not in any way, that park's not in any way to bring blight into an area that shouldn't have it. On the contrary, we're trying to eliminate some of that blight that's already there by the way the old golf course remains. There is a lot of wildlife out there. Last time we were out there, we saw a deer and just the birds. Councilman, I know you're concerned for.
A lot of ducks.
So yeah, I mean the dog park could essence be the beginning of something bigger, and not in any ways would we want to do something negative towards anybody. This is a dog park.
And just
They're
give them
common.
give them like an estimate dollar amount that we're spending on this because a lot of it's going to be donation. It seems like they're confused. They think that we're spending a lot of money, we're wasting a lot of money on this, and that we should be doing something else with that money instead of this. So,
We have budgeted
$10,000.
$10,000. Yes, I was going to say 15. I was going to over budget it, but yeah, $10,000 for the whole project. I'm sure we'll be well under that. The main cost is basically the fencing. The rest we will do in-house. So for everybody who's watching for their tax dollars at work, $10,000 is not as much. If we could invest more into that park, I think we should. But $10,000 is a starter.
'Cause we might, get benches, maybe some type of shading while the trees grow. And, add certain things to it. Maybe down the road, also run some water over there for fountains, because dogs need water.
One comment that I was making with Mr. Borges earlier was, if we're ever going to think about putting some lighting, there's some great solar lights that you could, put them on so they turn on for 4 hours, 6 hours. Once the daylight goes, and they'll turn on automatic, and we don't have to, spend on electricity and stuff like that, and they'll turn on, turn off automatic. I think that we should look into something like that instead of trying to put any electricity and stuff like that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when, because right after I took office, we voted on the Children's Museum. Remember that one? You were in office, and there was people complaining about the Children's Museum too. Remember? They didn't want the Children's Museum. They wanted the club, and they wanted a steakhouse, and they wanted well, it's going to be a Children's Museum now there. So having a Children's Museum and then a walking distance for a dog park, those are good things for that area. If you're going to have something like that, and it's not a minor collector road to a certain point, because if you go into Meadow Hills and you make a left and you go around, come down to Harrison Road, There's a circulation. Or go out and come out fairway. The problem is when you have an area like the bicycle trails in Monte Carlo, that is a dead-end road, okay? There's nowhere to park. There's nowhere to go out. That's called a minor collector. That's when you have problems. And remember, that's where they wanted to build the complex, the sports complex. You would never get traffic in or out of that area. But that area, and for the amount of traffic, like Councilman says, well, it's just a handful of people that will go up there. I have people right now that they've called me. You know where they take the dogs to walk? At 10 o'clock at night, Keno Park. They go there and they close the gate. They close the gate and let their dogs run inside the park. That's the extent of our dog park. Because you do need to have a fence area and the dogs like to run and play. But at 10 o'clock at night, because they can't go during the day, they can't close the gate. I think it's needed, and I think it's a nice place. And it'll beautify the area. Aesthetically, it's going to be pleasing for everybody. You won't even notice it's there.
Because right now it's abandoned.
And it's full. The weeds are this high.
Once we have that park there,
Yeah.
it'll be maintained, so it's going to look nice.
When we did the park over there, as you go into Meadow Hills, the other one, the little play area, there was complaints about that one too. I was in that administration as a councilman.
Well, they're still complaining on that one too.
Oh, so, come on, we want to build parks. It's nice for neighborhoods. Luckily, you're lucky you have a park in your area. So I think it's going to be a good thing, and believe me, once it's done, and there's going to be a lot of people taking their dogs there. The next one is going to be a cat park. I don't know how I'm going to do that one. Juan, right?
And of course, once we complete it, once we complete the park, we'll have a naming.
Yeah, we'll be naming
We'll be naming it, so we'll be doing a poll or something on how to get that done.
Can we
So
plant our own tree and put a name on there?
we could.
Yeah.
We could.
We can do that. All right, so, okay, we're there. Now let's go to some serious business. Mr. Messi, you're yawning.
He wants to make it home for his birthday dinner.
Yeah, no, it's not exciting for him. There's got to be some action. Let's go to liquor licenses.
I'll drink to that.
Consideration and possible action of liquor license 2021-2, approval of recommendation of the issuance of a liquor license for Mr. Jorge Manuel Leon Uribe for Ragazzi Uribe LLC, Ragazzi Northern Italian Cuisine, 204 West Mariposa Road.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second. Discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're going to go to orders, and we're going to number 2. Consideration and possible action of order 2021-04-019, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, authorizing the submission of an application to the Arizona Commerce Authority Economic Strength Project Program to fund necessary improvements to Industrial Park Drive reconstruction.
Second.
Discussion, who's taking this, Mr. Massey, or?
I can certainly
Go
touch
ahead.
on that
I
one.
think this is the city manager.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So our engineering department has applied for a potential award of $500,000 from ACA. If we are granted, we could be receiving that type of funds. Industrial Park Drive has been identified by our engineering department as being the choice street to deploy the fundings. This grant has a small match of 10%. However, in order for engineering or to address the issue from Bell Road, a little bit past Manor Drive, it would require more than $550,000, of course. So with an additional $400,000, I think, if my numbers remember correctly there, we should be able to address at least a third of the mile that road is in length. That funding will come from funding sources that we currently have. It would just be crossing our fingers and hoping that we do get the initial $500,000. So we've already submitted all supporting documents from local businesses, logistics areas, warehouses, brokers, and all that, and they're committing to do their part as well. to help us through this, as they also see a concern to upgrade the street. We all know we need to upgrade Industrial Park Drive.
Yes.
So with that, the last piece of the component to submit our application is council's approval to go ahead and proceed. This is not an award yet. This is just giving engineering permission to submit the application.
We're not voting on how much money we're going to spend.
No. But food for thought as to where it's going to go and how much this could
So
potentially.
I know Councilman Bonilla is worried about that. Huh? Todavía no. Todo bien. Okay. So, any discussion, further discussion on this?
Just one question.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor. Mr. Thompson, is there any way that we can do something similar with Old Tucson Road? You know, that area that we need to fix?
I'm sure we can speak to our engineering department, Mr. Guerra, and see if there's something suitable for that. I know old Tucson Road has been subject of concern for a while, and that's certainly something we can look at. I'm not too sure if this funding source would potentially award us something for there, because there's a lot of community dedications that we need to have, first of all. In comparison to both locations, we had to get 6, 7, I forgot what the count is, letters of support from the people who are there. Unfortunately, on Old Tucson, we probably wouldn't get much commercial input. We have one business maybe, the car wash. I'm sure their input is very much valuable or valued for this. However, we would have to explore different funding sources and hopefully come up with something. Yeah. The pots.
We have to work on that.
Yeah. The wells are dry.
Yeah. Eventually, I hope we don't have to use our HERF money on that and partner with the county to get it done, but, we have to figure something out.
Correct.
Yes. Okay, is there anything else?
So this is just for the application.
This is just for
Yes.
the application, yeah. We won't be receiving an award
Yeah.
or accepting an award tonight, I wish.
Call for the question.
There you go, my friend. That's what I like to hear. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Te estoy viendo. ¿De verdad, Leti?
Yeah,
Sí, okay.
I turned that way and then went like this.
Yes. All right. On number 3, consideration possible action of order 2021-04-020, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, authorizing the acceptance of an award from the Arizona Coalition for Healthcare Emergency Response in the amount of $10,000 for the purchase of personnel protective equipment.
So moved, Mayor.
Mr. Thompson, is this your puppy, or?
I can certainly comment on that, but I can ask the fire chief if he's willing to. If not, I can do this one.
We got the picture already.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we should accept it. There's no match, no nothing.
No, the only thing that was a concern, and we were able to fix that, was the fact that this had already expired. However, there should be an attached email saying go ahead and continue. The quicker we spend, the quicker we get a reimbursement, the quicker we put this behind us.
Okay.
So with that said, it's a positive thing for the fire department.
Perfect. On something like this, there's no problem. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
How much would each unit cost? Please.
Chief, do you have that by chance?
Yeah, the units are about $800 a piece. So we're using that full 10,000 to get enough for all 3 primary ambulances. So the crews on board that are transporting the patients would have that equipment.
Listo? Good? Call for the question? All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. All right. Number 4, consideration possible action of order 2021-04-021, an order of the Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, approving a project and contract management services contract with Widget Engineers LLC in the amount of $322,330.
Second.
Discussion. Who wants to talk about this?
I'll give it another shot.
Yes, go ahead, give it another shot.
Mayor, members on the council. So the money itself comes from the actual WIFA loans that we have been awarded or will be using for these projects. Widget Creek has done this type of work in the past. We also had reached out to a different entity, and when it came down to weighing pros and cons, we believe that Widget Creek Engineers is the appropriate person, as they've dedicated management of the projects, the administrative paperwork behind that. I believe engineers to oversee a lot of the stuff, and a lot of communication between them and us and the contractors. So this seems to be, or it is, the right choice to manage our WIFA.
And is there a project attached to this?
This will be for
For the
our
public?
water lines and our sewer lines under the WIFA loans.
Yes.
They will
but
manage it all.
Does it matter where?
I'm sorry?
Is there a location, or is it any
No,
project?
so this is for all the projects.
All
They
the
will manage them all.
So
Makes
that-
it a lot, yeah.
So that our audience can hear that.
Yes, so this would be, Widget Creek Engineering would be the ones managing our WIFA projects, which are all the ones we voted on back in January, I believe, where $29 or $21 million
Yes.
are acquired from this, on a loan for the city, in which we will invest back into our water lines and refresh those, a lot of those throughout the city, and the same with our sewer lines.
Good. Thank you very much. Any discussion?
Were those the list that you gave us, the addresses? You gave a number of locations in Nogales.
Yes,
Is that what they're going to be working on?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any else? Anybody else? No? Okay, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, number 9, ordinances. Number 1, consideration possible action on ordinance O 2021-04-001, an ordinance repealing Nogales City Code Chapter 2 Administration and replacing with new Chapter 2 Administration.
Second.
And Mayor, if I could just be heard, I've submitted to the clerk the final version of this ordinance that we talked about this afternoon, and it omits Section 215B. So that's just going to be stricken out.
Okay.
So that was from an earlier version, and I thought I had struck it out by the time I submitted it to the clerk for inclusion in the agenda, so I apologize for that error.
And on this, since we've had the discussion, we're just going to have the vote, call for the question, and we're going to have roll call vote. Okay? Betty, go ahead. Roll call vote. You start whichever, and I'm in the middle. I'll be the last vote.
Ms. Montiel,
Yay, aye.
Mr. Diaz,
Yay?
Yay.
Yay.
Mr. Yes,
Jose.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Walker,
Aye.
Can I make a question before?
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Massey, just for clarification, and you threw a curveball right now, what was 215?
I thought we went over that, Mayor, this afternoon.
But just for the audience, just like.
Oh, sure. As it states right now, 215B says the engineering and transportation director shall be superintendent of streets.
Okay,
But we're just going to pull that out of this ordinance, and superintendent of streets will be determined in the org chart, which will be brought forward for council adoption at a future date.
okay. Certainly. Aye.
Aye, good night.
That's a short explanation, right?
That's a short one. Very good, Mr. Massey. Aye.
And Mayor, since it's unanimous, can we have a second vote, or if anybody would like to make a motion to waive the second reading, in which
I
case
move.
it gets adopted tonight, and it will be effective 30 days from today.
I move on to waive the second reading. Okay? Let's go roll call vote again.
Yes,
Thank you,
give me a
Mayor.
second. Okay. Ms.
Yay.
Montiel? Mr. Diaz?
Aye.
Mr. Bonillas?
Aye.
Ms. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Bohorquez?
Aye.
Maldonado?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Messi. Number 2, consideration and possible action of ordinance O 2021-04-002 and ordinance amending Nogales City Code Chapter 19 Utilities, repealing Section 19-33, reorganization of the Public Works Department.
So moved, Mayor.
Second?
Second.
In discussion, well, we've had this lengthy discussion with this. That was, and you know, the discussion was so long that before we started, a whole time passed, and then we ended up singing happy birthday to him.
Oh,
So
God.
he turned
Thank you, Mayor.
of age during the discussion. You remember that, Mr. Bonilla?
But you serenaded me privately in your office,
Yes,
Mayor.
yeah.
That was that
was
will
good.
be memorable.
There you go. Okay. All right, so roll call vote on this too. Call for the question. Letty?
Yay.
Montiel? Mr. Diaz?
Aye.
Mr. Bonillas?
Aye.
Ms. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Bohorquez?
Aye.
Mr. Maldonado?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye. And again, we will, yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Waive the second reading and a motion on that.
Second.
All right, let's roll call vote again.
Ms. Montiel?
Yay.
Ms. Diaz? Mr.
Aye.
Diaz? Mr. Bonillas?
Aye.
Mrs. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Bohorquez?
Aye.
Maldonado?
Aye.
Mayor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
council
you,
members.
Council. Now we go to number 10, Mayor and Council's report on current events. Let's start with you, Mr. Bojorquez.
I don't have too much of a report. I have been going out and looking at all the work that the street department has been doing, and I'm really kind of not surprised, but I know that they've done real good work, and just coming in at 4:00 in the morning to start their day off of work. I didn't realize that they would come in that early to do sidewalks and like that. So I've seen them at this wee hours of the morning coming in to work and all the way through 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I just want to thank the crew, the street crews, and they've been doing an excellent job on the streets.
Thank you, Mr. Bojorquez.
And that's all.
Councilman?
Mayor, basically, one big thing that I do want to, on the EBT meetings, and I told Marcel and Carmen that I would present it to everybody. As a board or trustees, we have gotten in our plan for insurance plan for all the employees. They've always had the wellness programs and all that, and unfortunately, looks like not a lot of city employees take advantage of it. This year, we went ahead and gave the ones that met their goals and all that, they gave them a nice price. I think there was those watches and some sports bags with gear and stuff like that. But, I think the trustees and the EBT is doing a good job trying to promote everybody to get healthy and all that. So this year we went ahead and opened up and we changed vendors on to get more backing for the employees, more personal one-on-one support on getting, and so instead of, we're going to use this year, it's called Virgin Pulse Health Coaching Products, and we agreed with them to do a total population health, and basically this is going to be paid by the trust for all employees of the city, and really, I told them that I was going to work through the council and hopefully all the directors that are listening, put their people, guide them to take advantage of this. Because it's, this program, if you have a existing problem or if something comes up during the issue or during the time of the insurance, you will be helped and guided how to eat, how to, what to do, what not to do, and stuff like that. And, it's one-on-one personal coaching and all that. Plus, the program also gives personal coaching on wellness. So I hope all the directors push their employees or their workers to do this, because, I think as a trust, we'll be giving awards and stuff like that the coming years, but it's something that everybody should take advantage. It's there. It's already been approved and everything, and it's something that we should push, directors to push their workers and us as a city look good as try to be fit. I'm going to get in it too.
Good man.
Yes.
Right. We all have goals.
But besides that, Little League is on. We're looking at starting on April 24th. We're not going to do an opening ceremony. We're just going to play ball. We're going to, we're working on we got the jerseys from the Diamondbacks. I went up and picked them up last Thursday. And we're just got to put numbers and stuff like that, get prepared. Unfortunately, you'll be surprised. Very little participation of the kids. T-ball, I figured we have, 70, 80 kids. We got 23. Hopefully, once people see playing, we'll get more. So I'm going to, I kind of do the teams and stuff like that. I'm going to stretch, T-balls, basically, it's going to be good for the coaching because you'll have 4 or 5 kids, maybe 6, and kind of stretch it the most I can to leave more openings. Because I think once we leave, people see kids playing and all that, we'll get more people wanting to come back. So I'm going to work on trying to stretch it as much as we can. And with that, Mayor, also I want to talk to council. Being that we're going to start needing lights, and hopefully that we could work with Parks and Rec and go back to the normal, because we can, the daylight is not enough to have people to practices and play and all that. So that's something, I hopefully.
Yeah, you can work with the city manager and Marcel on that.
And I'll talk to them and work on lights and all that.
All right.
That's all I got, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Bonilla?
I've been talking to some department heads, particularly to Mr. Barcenas and our city engineer. And we sat down, we had I think it was like a 3-hour meeting, and we discussed some strategies on maintaining the roads of Nogales. I will be working with them very closely just so that we become more efficient in maintaining our roads. One of my biggest concerns was precisely because we are right now chip sealing and others on streets. I asked them if we had some type of program in effect as far as maintaining our roads. And they came back and told me it was a budget issue. But I think that if we take care of our roads or of our infrastructure, we have a more proactive approach instead of just waiting for the road to just erode. I think that we should save some money. I told them that I used the example of Mariposa Ranch Road. I see it as an investment for the city, and I think it's something that we should take care of. Not do any maintenance work like 10, 15 years later and then come back and try to fix it. And we're going to see if we can come up with some type of program to maintain a road so that when it does come to maintain them, the city won't have to pay so much money.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I talked to them what their needs were, equipment-wise. I know that the street department is short-staffed, so we discussed that also, their equipment also. And I will be working with them very closely to see how they're going to implement that. And we're going to go forward.
Thank you. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just comment on that. The acting city manager was also present at that meeting, so this was not a violation of the city
Yes.
charter. The council member was
I
not directing.
walked by in the hallway and I saw him and he was.
Yes. And I spoke with the city manager both before and afterwards, and there was no effort by the councilman to direct staff. This was an exchange of information and ideas, and that is a respectable and part of the council's job, is to gain information.
Yeah, Councilman Munilla told me that it was a learning experience for him.
Yeah, so.
Of how things.
I've learned a lot. I mean, it's my first year as councilman, and I didn't understand a lot of things that or how everything was working here in the city. So I had to sit down with these gentlemen and ask them questions more than anything, because so then I can sort of give them or try exchange ideas on how we can do things. But yeah, it was mostly for me actually of a learning experience.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Muntier?
So tomorrow, I wish the employees luck. I know it's the first day that they'll be opening to the public, so I wish them a lot of luck. I'm sure they'll do fine.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. Councilman Diaz?
Well, I'm going to make it real brief this time. We did our awards for the kids and our scholarships. Now we're going to do the police, fire, and EMT awards. And what I'd like to do them here at City Hall, so we don't have to drag the officers and all the guys that are getting the awards up to the BFW on a Sunday. So I'm going to try to coordinate with the acting city manager, yourself, and maybe we can do the presentations here.
Okay.
For the awards for the officers.
All right.
And we're working on opening the BFW up on April 9th, which is on Friday. So we're going to ease into opening up kind of slow and see how everything works out. So we're working on that too, and that's all I got.
So are you guys going to be mopping the decks and everything on
Mopping
Friday?
the decks and everything.
Or are you going to mop them on
Scrubbing
Thursday?
the floors and all that. Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while, huh?
Yes, a year.
Well, a year.
Over a year.
Wow.
You need to get those, I don't know. Are you guys going to get those parties back going on for now? Or
Well, no, not yet. Not until after everybody gets vaccinated and
Okay. Yeah,
numbers
because
drop and
it'll be hard to social distance on something like that.
yeah, you can't.
'Cause you have most
You
of the
can't. So we're gonna put off opening the dance floor and all that till after we get a green light.
Perfect.
Right now, it's just gonna be the canteen and
Yeah,
that's it.
perfect. You still have different meetings there from people that you.
Yeah, we have the
Yeah,
meetings.
meetings.
Yeah, we need to have the meetings to keep the place
Yeah.
going. No, so keep
Perfect.
paying our bills and see what the problems are gonna be and
Good.
so we've been having our regular meetings.
You guys do a good job for the community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
I'm a member also of the VFW there, but he's our commander.
I know he
does a
fine job, Mayor.
Yes.
Thank
Vice
you.
Mayor?
Well, I was speaking with the acting consulate about the Fiestas de Mayo event. It's not gonna be possible this year. It's not possible because the people that help us, 50% of, all dances and whatever, it's from across the line. They cannot come. So the only thing that consul was telling me, we could do a rally. I think he was thinking about the truckers, they have about maybe 50 units available, but we don't know for sure yet. So they were gonna let me know if they're gonna do it. In case they do it, we don't know the date. So I'll let you know in advance. The only thing I think we're gonna be using is 2 traffic control units.
That's it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it'll be like a parade rally.
Just like a parade.
Okay.
That's the only thing we can do right now, because the schools are closed, so we have nothing available,
Yeah.
So what else can we do? So maybe this would be the only thing, but I'll let you know in advance, because we don't know dates and time.
Okay, perfect.
So if I may, we could turn our lights in the front,
Red, white.
red, white, and, yeah, for that. On the same note, and I apologize for jumping in here.
No,
but
no.
we can certainly do that to honor our friends in Mexico, of course. But as we leave tonight, not that I'm kicking anybody out, I'm still game for another 2 hours.
Yeah, Jesus. You must be getting some good bucks.
As we leave tonight, the fascia of City Hall facing Grand Avenue will be lit up blue in observance for autism. It's April and it's Autism Month,
Yes.
or Awareness Month, so that explains why our building is blue. And that just led into the red, white, and green, and so forth, so.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thompson. Is that it, Mr. Vice Mayor? Okay. Yes.
One more thing
Yes, go ahead.
That I forgot, sir. I've been also approached, and Mendes should know about it, Melendez, by the veteranos. They want to start playing their baseball also.
Yeah, the league.
Do you guys feel comfortable? I told them the situation, the taking care of, not, I say, you guys are more at risk than the kids, because you're older. You guys got, if they agree, and, you're going to have to talk to Marcel, you're going to have to give them what your plans are. Little League, we're actually going to be asking all kids to have their own helmets, because something that comes close to the face and stuff like that. Bats, it's easier to wipe a bat. It's very hard to wipe or wet down a foam helmet. So we're asking all kids to have, their own helmets. But a bat, they could share. We'll be using wipes and have sanitation in the park, in the dugouts and stuff like that. But I told the veteranos that they're going to have to come out with something, that are they going to control a crowd? We're going to try to control a crowd in Little League. So I'm not sure if, I got high schools playing with limitations. I think they're only letting 2 parents or 2 guests per player out in the stands. Looks nice because the outfield is full, but do you guys feel comfortable with veteranos jumping back and having their games? They're going to, I don't know how many teams they're going to have, because I know they would have high participation from people from Mexico. So I'm not sure how many teams they're going to have, but I know a lot of people that are from here are anxious to get back playing. So are you guys okay with?
I don't see any reason why not. All they need to do is just follow.
Plan.
Just follow the guidelines and all they need to do is send the presidente or whoever's represented to speak to Marcel so they can get basic information of how they're gonna do everything at the park there.
And I'll be willing to help out, what I can and work with myself.
That right now that you mentioned, have you taken advantage of the money we for sanitation and stuff like that?
And Mayor, and I'm actually gonna try to get to Marcel tomorrow or Friday. You know, we haven't done it because Little League hasn't really given us, you gotta do this.
Okay.
And I don't wanna spend something and then it's something that we really
Not gonna use.
never needed.
Okay.
You know, we
But
have.
you know you have that money
Yeah, we
left.
have thoughts of expanding dugouts. We have thoughts of, you know, do we put permanent, you know, sanitation, or do we put temporarily where we can take them off and stuff like that, you know? We don't want to leave something and then it get vandalized or something like that. How do we proceed? That's what I plan to talk to Marcel. You know, the expanding of the dugouts, I think we, you know, like Little League Park, they're young kids. I think we could work it out with stretching it, maybe putting a couple of chairs and separating and stuff like that. Maybe put a spot on a sticker on the benches. This is where you could sit. This is where you don't sit, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I think we talked about it yesterday. We had a Little League meeting, and we could do that, stuff like that. Fletcher and Memorial Park and stuff like that, they're bigger dugouts, and I think we could work it out.
Yeah.
But
I just remember right now
Yes.
when you were saying that, man.
I just don't
I think,
want to misuse the money, Mayor.
Yeah.
But we'll
you know,
find a use.
Because you remember you have
Yes.
that. You have that for
Thank
your
you.
seat, yeah. Okay, it's my turn now, I guess. Okay, on March the 2nd, I had an interview with Tucson Sentinel, interview regarding concertina wire and COVID. March 4th, I interviewed with Fox News regarding migrants at the border. Same date, KOLD 13 interview regarding concertina wire. March 10th, Walter Cronkite School of Journalism, and listen to this, Mr. Maldonado. They interviewed me regarding Little League and sports, because they know up in Phoenix that Nogales is a Little League town, that they know that we're, so. I gave them your name and did you talk to them?
I talked
Okay.
to him. I got
All right.
interviewed by them.
So you got interviewed.
Yes.
So you forgot to talk about that. But I was surprised to hear that they wanted to, you know, to write a story on that.
Yeah, I
That's
think it was, they talked to Coach OJ from the high schools.
Yes, they did. That's what they told me. Okay, March 11th, 12 News Phoenix interview regarding migrants and asylum seekers. Same date, CBS News interview regarding immigration and policy changes at the border. March 22nd, KTAR interview regarding unaccompanied minors. Same date, Newsweek interview regarding immigration and migrants. Same date, Kagan News interview regarding migrants. And same date, meeting regarding a movie that will be filmed in Nogales, hopefully in the fall. March 24th, KLD 13 interview regarding asylum seekers. March 30th, Newsmax interview regarding border issues. Same date, Kagan News interview regarding border issues again. And that same date, I had a meeting with Consul General Vaidebeck. Vaidebeck, is that her last name? Vaidebeck? Yeah. See? Laura Vaidebeck, see? Regarding migrants. I had never met her. I've met her. It was a Zoom thing. So I was a pretty busy one. And as a matter of fact, this morning I started off with the same thing. But that'll be in the next meeting. And now, Council, City Manager report, you have anything? You want to say anything before we adjourn?
Mayor, members of the council, I just want to say that so far it's been a fun ride. Not that I'm going anywhere for another 2 months. But April 19th, our paving projects start up again. We'll see fog sealing, some chip sealing and stuff around town. So more exciting news on our paving projects. Aside from that, I know it's been a busy week. It's just been a busy week. So just want to thank council for going with our recommendation on our finance director. It went smooth. Thank you, everybody. Pat, John, me. I just texted Jean. She's really excited. So we'll get together here soon. Aside from that, that's all I got.
Good. Thank you very much. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Eh? Oh, mira, Marcy. Listas. I knew it was going to go. Okay, let's go. Future agenda items. Yes, sir.
I think I heard,
¿Te acuerdas, no, Marcy?
City Manager Thompson said that next week we're having a housing authority meeting
Yes, we're shooting for next Wednesday.
next Wednesday. And the other thing is, there's a piece of plywood down in front of or the back of the police department there. It's been there for,
The sidewalk?
I know it's been there for 2 years because I've been on the.
Yeah.
Yes, so,
For 2 years.
definitely.
Are they working on something there? Because it's kind of like a liability, I think.
So the purpose of it being dug up, the way it is right now, that's basically where our conduits leading to the annex building connect to City Hall. So that basically is a vein into our new annex building. So I know we have talked about that. I think those connections are in place, but I'll double check with IT and our outside consultant, our tech. And if so, then I will figure out a way to get that patched.
Because I know they've got a piece of plywood, you know, if they're not gonna work on it, maybe do something else that's a little bit safer.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Council meeting? Future agenda item?
The trolley.
We gave it back to the Cedric family. I'm just kidding.
Come on.
So last I heard, it needed some power steering issues. It was just leaking like in front of the bank there on the annex building. So I'll double check on it, and if so, we can certainly bring it back out and place it up in front of the building or whatever
Well-
other uses we may have.
Well, remember what I told you about the trolley? We are probably going to use the trolley for
Yes.
mobile library. Okay, and we're going to do it in memory of Mary Darling. Mary Darling, because I wasn't even going to talk about it right now, but next agenda meeting, I was in May. She had come to me before the COVID thing back in 2019, and she had an idea of why not using it to take library books to residential areas, on weekends and whenever there's a time, and allow children to read it in the trolley and teach them how to read and everything like that. And I told her it was a great idea to do that. So I told her that I would do a presentation with her. She's no longer with us. With her. So that we could approve it as a council to use the trolley on that. But then the COVID thing happened, and now she passed away. And I talked to her daughter, and I told her that I was going to do that in memory of Mary Darling. So I was going to bring it I'm still going to bring it to, so you can write this down, Mr. Thompson.
Sir.
I'm going to bring it to the council meeting in May, so that we can figure this out, so I can give enough time to the director at the library to figure out how we're going to do it. I had a conversation with Mr. Kissinger about that. So we're going to figure out how we're going to do it and how we not only get the books on the trolley, but how we can get people to volunteer to do that. And like park it at the canchas in Monte Carlo, park it up here at the canchas on ANSA, and invite kids to go read and stuff, a couple hours, and then move it around so that we'll be using the trolley at the same time as educational, but also as a figure, a little mobile car or mobile vehicle that the children can identify as the trolley that we'll be doing that, and we'll use it for events and stuff like that. But that's what I had plans of doing. I had forgotten. I hadn't told you about that because I had just had the conversation with Mary Darling, and I didn't want to say anything about it. But I did talk to Mary Darling about it, and she was very happy that was something that her mother and I had talked about that we were going to be doing. So I hope we can get it done. It'll be a good idea. Yeah. Okay. So Is there anybody have a, yes, you do have an agenda.
I want to, for a future agenda item, I want to revisit the 24-hour cap on the overtime for police officers. I know the issues, I know the problems that we were having, but I still want to see if we can do anything for that cap, right?
Okay. All right. Anybody? Lisa?
Maybe an update on the annexation?
On the building? Or annexation total?
Annexation.
Yeah. We were waiting for a report con Maria. That we're going to turn it in on Friday?
Soon, I'm not too sure when she'll have something ready for
Yeah.
us. But yeah,
But yeah, let's bring that up. We'll do that.
definitely.
Not the building.
Right.
No, annexation. Yeah. Annexation. And wait a minute. You had your time. Wait a minute. Give me a chance.
No, I haven't
No,
started.
no. Let's see, look at him. Councilman Diaz, do you have anything for the agenda, sir?
No, not at the time.
No.
No, it's,
Okay, let me go to Mr. Varona. Go ahead. Go ahead, Councilman.
No lo encuentro.
Go ahead.
Maldonado?
Maldonado.
Okay.
Yes, Councilman Maldonado.
Okay. Basically updates on, the Chair Park.
Okay.
The Chair Park, the bank building, now that Mr. Bonilla brought up the thing on the back's 24, I've been thinking, I know the big issue is the retirement thing, adding up and all that, but we got to look into, we can't wait till the thing hits the fan and we get the blast of the big costs. We got to look into how we put money aside and stuff like that to basically be prepared financially because every day we're going to have more and more officers retiring, and that thing's going to build up and build up, and 15, 20 years from now, we're not going to be here, but what are we going to leave, our constituents of the city, community, to face? I think we got to look into how do we look at funding that down to the future. We got funds in the bank. Do we do X amount of funds and put them on a long-based interest to support that, or what do we do? But I think there's something that we got to look into. The other thing is, now that I see very good friends with Jaime at the border and with the produce and all that, we still got to be fighting for the border crossing Mariposa to be open 6 to 10. It's killing workers that come from Mexico, having to go through the Dinkasini port because they don't open till 8 o'clock. And it's going to get worse with the trailers. May is grape season. Starting, they say they're early, but, starting at the beginning of May, grapes come in abundance. And we're going to have 400 or 500 trucks staying overnight. Where are we going to put them? What's going to happen? But I think we got to work, if it's not the U.S. Customs opening to come south or come north, can they be accessible to leave the port open to going north or to going south? Because it's gonna really hit the produce industry in the grapevine with the grape growers on having enough trucks to come back and forth. They ship 400 or 500 trucks easily a day, and I think we should look into that. And then Ms. Isa did say about the annexation.
Well, I'm having a meeting. Mr. Thompson, are you going to be part of that meeting too next week in reference to the port? I think Luis Ramirez, Mr. Kissinger called me and scheduled for Thursday,
I'll double.
Wednesday or Thursday.
I'll double check. I'm sure. I'll be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a meeting in reference to the port. I'll bring it up.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
'cause
port issues.
that would help the city of Nogales and the produce industry a lot.
All right.
Okay. Now it's all yours.
No, thank you very much. Who else has anything? After that, that's it, no more?
Move to adjourn, Mr. Mayor.
Ahora sí.
Mr. Maldonado.
Mr. Maldonado.